folks.
Hey, folks, welcome to Sports Focus. I'm your host, Jeff McNeil. We have Civil and McIntosh. McIntosh is taking selfies of the room. Oh, man. Oh, you had that is the most happiest face I've ever seen. Look at that face. Did you hit the lottery?
No, I got my selfie.
Man, got your selfie.
Got my selfie.
Well, good for you. Got your selfie.
Thank you very much.
21st century man. Yeah. All right. First, let's start off with something good in sports because we always talk about the negative and things of that nature. Have you ever heard of a list? Athletes gone good.
Athletes going good?
Yes, athlete. There's a list, and they had the top 20 athletes in the world that has done good things, charities, donate, things of that nature, giving up their time.
Like Brandon Marshall.
Things of that nature, yep. And we're going to just, I'm going to run
Washington Wizard.
The top three. Cristiano Ronaldo, he's number 1 on the list, and John Cena, number 2.
Wow.
He has granted over 500 Make-A-Wishes. 500.
Wow.
Big time. I was surprised he wasn't number 1 because you figure those wrestlers, they're on the road all this time,
right.
and he's still doing these wishes. So big shout out to him. And number 3, my baby Serena Williams, which is a surprise. Congratulations. LeBron was on the list. He was number 6 actually.
How about John Walls?
No.
Really?
Neymar.
What about
the soccer player, Brazil's soccer player? He was on the list.
What about used to be a basketball player. He got his own school up in, I forget what his name.
Not him.
He was on the list here?
Nope. I don't even know what you're
He ain't no, not him. He not on the list. I don't know who you talking about. But he ain't made the list either.
He didn't make the list.
He was in Michigan with the Fab Fives.
He was in Michigan with the Fab Five?
Yeah.
What, Jawan
Rose?
Yeah, Jalen Rose.
Oh, Jalen Rose?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't on the list. No.
You don't even know what that list said on it.
I already know what the list say. I have it. And it's a good thing. I think it's
Then
kind
what
of
it
cool.
say?
It's amazing to me how come they don't, because I saw this on Bleacher Report, and how come they don't put this all over the place. But they'll put that someone did something bad or, something negative, but I guess that's America.
Yeah, because crap sells.
Crap sells, sex
All
sells,
day.
and all that stuff sells. But the
Crap
good
all
in
day.
people,
Yes,
it's boring, right? It's
Which
boring.
one of you all depends on the price.
Yeah, it's boring if you talk about somebody that's doing good things. It's boring, But
Yeah.
hey.
No feel-good stories. They always on the back end.
Could John Walls do something for up in Washington? He also does his hometown down in North Carolina.
Well, I'm surprised that Connecticut's own Ray Allen didn't make the list because he still comes back to Connecticut.
That is a surprise as well.
He comes back to Connecticut and still does a lot.
Ray
He's
Allen
not even from here.
does a lot.
Yes.
For his hometown back up in Connecticut. He always coming back, so surprise. All right. The 2015 NFL preseason has come at a heavy price this season. Jordy Nelson, the Green Bay Packers wide receiver, one of the top fantasy football players, gone for the season. Sorry, all you Green Bay fans, but Aaron, Mr. Double Check, whatever, is going to have to find another way to get that ball. For all you fantasy people, Devontae Adams and definitely Randall Cobb. Stock up through the roof.
Montgomery, too. Ty Montgomery.
Who?
Ty Montgomery.
Who's that?
A wide receiver.
For Green Bay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You going to pick him?
No.
Yeah. What you talking about it for?
So somebody else can be a fool.
You want somebody else to pick him? Ty Montgomery?
So leave me somebody else?
Nobody else know who it
Hey,
is.
this is fantasy football. You see what I try to do the thing?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Some boy said, Jordy Nelson, give it to him.
That was that close. Also, another injury
Cowboy defense.
that is
Cowboy defense.
and I took the Cowboy defense.
That's about last year. Give me the Cowboy defense. What?
Yeah, taking them the other year, that was horrible. But that Cowboy defense took a hit as well, losing Orlando Scandrix for the season. ACL. Now, you mentioned something, you sent me something earlier about contact and non-contact. The Jordy Nelson injury
was non-contact.
Non-contact, but the Orlando
it was contact. It was like the receiver caught the ball and like fell on his legs, And that's
It
where
was kind of weird how Orlando, how he is under him, sort of, and he was in back of him, and as the receiver falling right into his leg. So,
yeah,
it was a weird thing. Now RG3, other hand, his offensive.
We'll get into RG3. We'll talk about we'll talk about him. But
that's like that old
Jordy just caught the ball. Jordy just caught the ball
and went to make a football.
Playing it, and he's done. Now this comes to what Mr. Aikman has came out and said, that he thinks that there should be no preseason games. And another, I think, Adrian Peterson has come out to say that they should only be 3 preseason games. Now, granted, his team, the Vikings, is playing 5. Everybody else is playing 4.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh playing 5 too.
And Pittsburgh, they're playing more. Marquise Pouncey, broken ankle?
Yep.
He's out for God knows how long. So, do you think that the NFL in the coming years will do away with the preseason games or shorten them?
Shorten.
I don't think they're going to do anything.
Because it's money.
It depends. If a bunch of quarterbacks go down, they're going to shorten it. The quarterbacks is
that's the key.
And the biggest thing is they're not going to let those quarterbacks play so long. The only time you see the first team really get extended playing preseason is towards the last. If you're playing 5 like the Minnesota Vikings are, you'll see more Bridgewater in 4 and 5 preseason. We'll get preseason 4 and preseason 5 game because you're getting the first team into gear. But they're not going to get away with the preseason because it's supposed to be mainly to evaluate your people, to cut down your roster to 53.
Because they're talking about extending the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you would, if you eliminated the preseason games, you extend the regular season, you will extend the roster.
Yeah,
and I think their salaries should go up too.
Accidentally, yeah.
I don't think they'll blow up those salaries because they say we're getting rid of the preseason. But you know what? I don't even think it's all about that. I think it was Ray Lewis and those guys who made them soft by kept complaining they needed more time off, more times without pads. You didn't hear about this when they had those practices where they had to wear pads Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and light practice on Saturday. When they start giving them the extra day off in the middle of the week, and you can only wear pads on Thursday and Fridays, that's when all the injuries start. Yeah. Because they're not in football shape anymore. This is
the union and the players. They sat in they wanted all of that. So
and they're paying the price for it. A lot of them are paying the price because you know what? You don't get to go outside when you're in your off season. You do whatever you want. Then you expect to come back and get into football shape like that. No, because you have very light practices and you're not allowed to do the things that they used to be able to do to you.
Because I always thought that the preseason in the NFL is to just basically get these guys in the shape
and evaluate the other
guys. Evaluate the rookies and people undrafted and the walk-ons and all that. I think Jordy Nelson, he said it. They need preseason games because how are you supposed to all of a sudden, then what's that product going to be once the regular season starts if these guys are not in shape and they're huffing and puffing, they can't even finish a half of football.
Right. So you need it.
So they need a game, something. They need something.
They need
not enough.
They need more. Just like I was listening to a thing. He was sitting there talking about that they need to have more combined practice with different teams. Well,
that's what these teams are doing now. They're
do that more.
The practices.
But that's not football speed because you have so much time in between because you got coaches coaching in between the plays. You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be there, and they're dictating what's going on. It's not like in a game where they're on the field and you're sending in signals and they're actually playing. So actual game experience versus practice experience with just a scrimmage is entirely two different animals.
It seems like the NFL has... But I think you're right, though, Mr. McIntosh. If quarterbacks start going down in the preseason, I would definitely think they would make some changes. Because what happened when Brady went down?
That was the first game of the season.
First game of the season. You can't hit him below the legs.
Yep.
So if one year, one preseason where quarterbacks is getting knocked out left and right.
Except for
that's the money maker.
I'm sorry, except for RG3.
That's the money maker. And speaking of RG3.
RG knee?
No, RG.
let's talk about
RG be gone.
Let's talk about the dead quarterback.
No, he ain't taking a knee. He taking a whooping. That's what happened to that boy.
I read in Bleacher Report that there was an anonymous NFL coach that came out and said, I don't know how a team is treating, and why are they doing this to your starting quarterback? It seems like they're treating him kind of messed up.
Yeah, I read that too. They basically saying they're not taking care of him.
Well, it's just,
But some of the stuff
he brought on himself.
he brought himself. Some he don't read. He's not stepping in the pocket when he needs to step in the pocket. If there's a rush in his face, he don't know how to move around. He's froze. He's like a deer stuck in the headlights, and he's making mistakes.
So that's basically what you said. You give it a defense and these coaches a year.
So that's it.
And now they're like, oh, we know who RG3 is now.
And the biggest thing about it is it's like when you're used to one type of quarterback being back there, and you know goodness well, such as Mike Vick. He knew when to run.
Yeah.
Sometimes he was reckless about it, but he knew when to run.
Yeah.
But you confuse your offensive linemen because they're expecting you to take off. And now you're trying to be a pocket passer. They don't know where you are because you're used to running around and shooting the gap and everything else. Now they want you to sit back there and be a statue. So now they're having to get used to having you back there in the pocket now.
And they...
Yeah, and they are not blocking for him because usually he's gone.
He's gone.
What do you think the future is for Robert Griffin III?
The Shanahan's ruined them. That's all I got to say.
But Gruden is Gruden doing
I'm
anything
sorry.
to help him?
No.
I think last year Gruden gave him a dose of his reality because he kept running off at the mouth and everything else like that. Always about me. So Gruden said, okay, you want it to be about you? I'm going to sit you out there and let you do you, and let's see how far you get. Still ain't learned that lesson, so I'm going to let you do you until you figure out how everything's supposed to go.
The only thing I'm surprised he haven't gone to the quarterback whisperer and teach him how change the mechanics so he reads stuff, understand. Because it seems like he's like Tim Tebow.
Okay?
Even though Tim Tebow do know how to move up in the pocket,
But you got to be willing.
yeah, it seems like Robert Griffin not willing.
Compare Griffin to Tebow.
But you still got to be willing.
Because Tebow is a totally different...
He's a totally different animal. True, he is. He's bigger. He's immobile. But Tebow also holds the ball easily because I'm watching the game.
Yeah,
He needs a fresh start.
You think
Yeah.
Griffin?
He needs a fresh start.
There's going to be a whole bunch of quarterbacks in their first shot. It's going to be
Kaepernick.
Griffin, Kaepernick,
And that's another one I said. One full year.
Emmanuel. He's going to need a new fresh start.
EJ Manuel, Buffalo Bills quarterback.
And your favorite person in the world, the platypus. He's going to need a fresh start.
Well, I
platypus.
wish nothing but the best. I actually liked RG3 as an individual. He presents himself very well. Maybe he does need that fresh start, and maybe him being thrust into was too much for the young man. And long as he's not for the Deadskins, I'm good with that. And folks, that's all the time we have for you. Thank you once again. Thank you, Mr. Civils and Mr. McIntosh.
Really?
Peace.